head down Orange Theory Stadium, 7:05 Friday evening. Obviously, the Chiefs heading down to Canterbury to take on the Crusaders. Crusaders opened, I think they were $1.30 on opening. Last I saw, they drifted out slightly, $1.35. The point start 7.5, so just getting a little bit more than a converted try head start from the bookies there. The Chiefs, obviously, the Chiefs went down to Orange Theory Stadium earlier in the year and did a bit of a smash and grab job in the last 5 minutes of that game, went away with the win, but then went back to FMG later in the year. The Crusaders ran all over them in the second half, cost me a kebab, which I still haven't paid you back for. I just remembered now.
Yeah,
so,
true.
we'll get that back at some stage. But which of those two games do you think we can take more from as we look ahead to this one, James?
Oh, I think a little bit of both, but obviously the game down there, it's going to be similar this weekend. Obviously, night game. It's going to be wet, dewy. But I think what the Chiefs can take a lot out of that game was how long they were able to hold that ball for in that back end of that game and really put the Crusaders under pressure. So I think they'll be taking a lot of confidence out of that. I think that's what they're going to have to. They're going to have to really take it to the Crusaders. They're going to have to score tries, and I think they'll be trying to hold the ball for as long as they can. So, yeah, it's going to be a good game, I think. I'm not sure what end of that point start I'm going to be on, but we'll have to have a think.
Yeah,
Sell me, guys.
It's quite high, but Crusaders in Christchurch, apart from that, one loss.
They have literally never lost a home final in the history of Super Rugby, right?
Oh, so, 24
yeah, something like that. There's definitely a 0 on the second half of that stat. So, yeah, you were fairly bullish about them when they went up to Hamilton for the rematch. Are you pretty confident in the Crusaders again this week?
Yeah, I think so. Apart from the most recent loss, and the last 4 wins against the Chiefs in Christchurch have been by 15 points, 11 points, 22 and 13. So, which suggests the points are probably about right, or it could be a little bit more.
It was pretty close heading into the last 10 minutes of the Super Rugby Aotearoa final as well last year, wasn't it? Before,
it was there, so it must have been the 13, 13.1, So, and then the Crusaders just did their thing. 11 to 20 came through. I think I was on that.
Had some couple of red card offences they didn't get red cards for. Was that the Crusaders doing their thing?
But they a few more stats. Crusaders have won 5 of the last 7 against the Chiefs. They've covered 5 of the last 13 at home, so they haven't been great at covering at home. But they have covered 9 of the last 14 against the Chiefs. The Chiefs haven't been a great covering team this year, covering 4 of the last 11. So, yeah, I could see it being really close as well, but I could also see Crusaders running away with it and just sneaking into that sort of 11 to 20 range there. But the Chiefs will take a lot of confidence from the fact they have been down there and won in Christchurch, and but they'll know they just need to hold on to the ball and maybe put some pressure on the sort of set piece and maybe a certain person who's playing in the 10 jersey.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do there. But I think we sort of touched on maybe the Chiefs only really having moments against the Waratahs. I think it's pretty fair to say the Crusaders have been the same this year, right? Like they haven't been dominating 80-minute performances like they have in the past. It's sort of
that game against the Chiefs probably one of the rare exceptions,
because that was
a couple of those blowouts against Australian teams. But when you think about the game against the Blues, that game against the Chiefs,
even like the game against the Hurricanes at the Cake Tin, where it was sort of
those games haven't been Crusaders. They're clinical, but we do know what they're capable of and what they can do. So if they can get it all together, hopefully get a big crowd in. The crowds are a little bit disappointed on the weekends. So hopefully we get a few more people in this weekend. But we'll see.
Yeah, if they can't pick it up for this, it would be a shame. But is there maybe a key man for the Chiefs you got your eyes on, James? Someone who has a matchup he can exploit or needs to step up if they are going to win this thing?
I think a lot of it's going to rely on Bryn Gatlin, to be fair. I think he's been playing really well this season. He's been one of the guys who have really stood up, and his matchup with, obviously, Richie Mo'unga is going to be massive. Slippery conditions or dewy ball, no matter what, it's going to be down there. So the way they kick, the way they play, kick versus run ratio is going to be massive. So, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that.
If you were someone from the Chiefs got you on the blower and was asking for your input on the game plan, would you be suggesting maybe a bit of an old school Highlanders style one, kick it for the corners and make the Crusaders come out of their 22, or is they asking for trouble giving the Crusaders in that backline too much possession?
Oh, I think everyone wants the territory at the moment, and just the way the game's playing. Once you've got that territory, you pretty much want to be holding that ball because the it's only a matter of time before someone gives away a penalty, or like I've already spoken about, someone's falling and cops a shoulder, and then you've got a red card and a penalty. So I feel like once you've got the territory and you've got the ball, you're in control of the game at the moment. So how you do that, it's going to have to vary, but being able to win back contestable kicks and win those kicking battles is going to be really important. So it'll be interesting to see what approach the Chiefs take. But yeah, I think once they're in there, they'll be trying to hold the ball like they did last time and had a lot of success from.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Richard? Anyone you're sort of circling from the Chiefs if they are going to, or from the Crusaders as well? They have plenty of amazing players to. Yeah,
no shortage of it. From the Chiefs, I'd probably say just Richarlic, maybe. You know, like I think he's just sort of like obviously he just gets in there and does the dirty work, but it seemed to take him a couple of weeks to sort of get back, coming back from that injury. But I thought last week he was one of the best in the park. So if he can kind of do that dirty work, obviously the Crusaders have got no shortage of talent in there, type 5 in there, 4-pack on the whole. So it's going to be an incredible battle. Both the back lines and the forward backs. You know, I think we've talked about this battle of the forward back on both the meetings they've already had this season. So, but yeah, Richarlic, and I think Weber's another one who's been playing really well. So if he can kind of I don't know, get some quick ball and just sort of, I don't know, he just seems to be one of those players who can he's a niggler and gets his way around, picked up a couple of tries on the weekend. So if he can take some opportunities, the Chiefs are going to have a win. Yeah, but I just shout out to Gatland as well. I think he's been really impressive. I thought, yeah, he's obviously. And
they've gone with the dual playmaker this week, Josh Ioane, named at fullback, which was, had plenty of success there for the Highlanders and Super Rugby Trans-Tasman last year. So interesting to see how that, I think that can't be a bad thing, sort of take a little bit of pressure off Bryn. And if they are going to look to play a bit of a kicking game and turn the Crusaders around, having that extra boot's going to come in handy.
Yeah, Josh Ioane's played a few notable performances against the Crusaders over the years. So
yeah, sure. Well, yeah, one area I'm going to be keeping an eye on, and you've got plenty of skin in this game, James, is the midfield. You got Quinn Tupaia, who was absolutely outstanding last week against the Waratahs. I thought maybe in a possible All Black 12 audition against David Havili. So very interested to see sort of who comes out on top of that battle. I think David, he's obviously got the experience on his side, and he's such a great defensive player. If he can shut Quinn down, and particularly his distribution game, which has been, I think, awesome the last few weeks, that I think who comes out on top there could come a long way. And then Alex Nankerville has been absolutely flying next to Quinn as well. So I think he had a great run in the game down in Christchurch, set up a try or scored a try. So yeah, maybe that's area the Chiefs can look to have some joy. But yeah, just more for just, you got 4 great players there. Jack Goodhue is starting to look like Jack Goodhue of old ends. So yeah, just really interested to see how I don't know. You've obviously know a couple of those players particularly well, James. I'm sure you're expecting a big performance, particularly from David, right? He's a big game player. He should be fired up for this one.
Yeah, and I think that, like you say, the All Black coaches will be watching those matchups very, very closely. Some, like you mentioned, Nankerville, I think he's had an outstanding year this year. He must be within that frame. I thought Goodhue looked to be a little bit sluggish, I thought, last week. The Reds got on the outside of him pretty easy with Pattaya a couple of times, getting on his outside. So I thought they might have gone in or there at 13, but I'm expecting a big game from him this weekend. He's going to bounce back. And yeah, I like the way Davey played in the weekend. He looked to be a bit more physical, still got his distribution skills, got his offload. He's a very skillful player and a big part of their leadership group as well. So he'll have a massive role in that result, no doubt.
Yeah. So maybe keep an eye on that Goodhue Nankerville matchup defensively if they can try and get Nankerville open outside, because the Chiefs, the way Nene Satura in particular has been playing, they've got plenty of firepower out wide. And then obviously we've talked about, I think it's probably the buzzword of Super Rugby this year, right? Depth. Both you sort of look at the backs the Crusaders have ready to roll off the bench. I think it's 3 All Blacks, right? Mitchell Drummond, Braden Enor, and George Bridge back, but then Sam Kane lurking in jersey 20 for the Chiefs. So if the Chiefs can get a bit of ascendancy up front, I think the Crusaders maybe don't have the depth in the type 5, especially coming off the bench they've had in the past. Obviously, Moody's out for the season. They don't have 3 All Black props just sitting on the bench to roll on like they have in the past. So I think if the Chiefs can sort of get on top, they do have. Ollie Norris has been really good, and Bradley Slater, I'm a massive fan. I think he really adds a lot of impact coming off the bench. So I think that's maybe somewhere the Chiefs can have a bit of joy. But yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to lean towards the plus, just because I think this is one where it's going to be decided by moments. You got so many great players on the park on both sides. It's really going to be, is it Lisa Fainganuku? Is it Josh Ioane? Is it Brodie Retallick who has that moment, who maybe breaks the game open with 20 to go? Because I am expecting it to be like even the game in Hamilton was close with 20 to go, and then that was the Crusaders game breakers who broke that one open. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything else to add on sort of how you see the outcome of this one.
Nah, as I said before, I think I'll be leaning towards the minus. But yeah, I could go. Yeah, it'll be. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a 1-2 point game as well. Maybe a little Crusaders 1-5 little bit as well.
Something
on the side.
Have either of us swung your opinion at all, James?
Mate, the way I'd be playing this game is Crusaders 1-12 bonus back special.
Yeah,
I just think that's too good to refuse. I'm not sure what exactly they're paying 1-12, but that would be the way to go, because I don't think it's going to be a 13+ game. 290.
Yeah,
you're kidding me. That's an absolute steal. Get on that one, and you're pretty safe if it blows out. And only the Chiefs sneaking home will beat you. But 290, I'd be all over that one.
Yeah, especially as we've said already, the Crusaders never lost a final at home ever, so you got to feel pretty good being on their side. Yeah, but I'm going to back the Chiefs to make history. I think they get it. It's a Brad Weber from the base of the ruck in the 80th minute finds Quintapaya coming down the inside, and then you got big wide ball out to Nene Saturo in the corner, same as the regular season game down there. The Chiefs win it by 3. So, but yeah, this could go either way, right? I'm just so excited for this game, but.